Hey lovelies, today I'm going to walk you through how I apply a glitter effect to my digital illustrations, and using this kind of effect is going to help add a lot of visual interest and texture and of course a bit of sparkle to your illustrations. So it's pretty simple and straightforward. It takes about 2 or 3 steps, and I'm going to be using my iPad Pro and the app Procreate to be able to accomplish this, but you should be able to use any digital drawing app that you prefer. Something like Photoshop would also work just fine. I'm going to use this fashion illustration to show you how I add that glitter effect. So this lilac jumpsuit, I want it to look like it's made out of sequins. So I'm going to use the glitter effect to be able to do that. So I find my layer. Here's the lilac layer here. I'm going to add a new layer by hitting that little plus. I'll create a clipping mask so that only the area below will be affected. So only that lilac pantsuit will be affected by all of the brush strokes I make on this layer. And the next thing I need to do is to find my brush. So you want some kind of a brush that has a scatter effect to it. The one that I like to use is by Retro Supply Company. It's their Grain 1 brush. I use this all the time. And actually, let me go ahead and instead of doing the clipping mask, I'm going to undo that just so I can show you what that brush looks like out here. So it's got this really nice randomized sort of stipple effect that works really successfully. And it looks like it's so much more complicated than it actually is. So let me clear that. I'm going to apply that clipping mask, and I want to sort of select this lilac color and change it to sort of a darker, deeper purple. I will set my layer blending mode to multiply, and then I'll just start brushing in all those little dots. And what I like about this brush is that it's pressure how do I say that? It's sensitive to pressure, so the heavier that I put my pencil down, the larger the dots will be. The lighter pressure that I put on my pencil, the smaller the dots will be, which adds just for this nice variation and adds a lot of depth to it. So that's a little bit too dark for me. I'm going to reduce the opacity to somewhere like 50%. I'll add one new layer, apply a clipping mask, and next color I want to choose maybe a light pink because this is going to play really nicely with the colors underneath. Instead of a true white, we're just going to have some more color variation. So I will set my blending mode to overlay and then just start adding that in. And you can see this is the lighter sequin color. So we got the darker sequin color with the multiply and the dark purple, and we're getting this lighter sequin color with this light pink and overlay. But it's a little bit too opaque, so I'm going to reduce the opacity, and that's where you can even start seeing some of the color variations happen a little bit more, and see how that light pink is turning white when it's on the lilac, and it's turning more of a red pink when it's on top of the dark purple. So I love that that variation. I think that's just so nice. So we're not done yet. We're going to add one more layer, create a clipping mask again, set your blending mode to overlay. And this is where I will use the true white color because I want this to really pop the most. So I'm just going to add this only in a couple of areas, just areas where her body just protrudes the most. So like hips and thighs and chest. And also I'll add a little bit to the areas in the pant flares that are coming towards us the most. But as you can see, this is just so simple and easy to do, and it really adds so much texture and depth, and it makes it believable that this jumpsuit is made of sequins. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this. I hope that it helped you realize how easy and pretty and simple it is to add a glitter effect to your artwork. Definitely tag me on Instagram at Designed by Shea so that I can see it. You can also follow me on TikTok at Designed by Shea. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. I would love to have you here, and it really helps the channel out. You can also shop all of my art prints and find some digital downloads on Etsy. Stay sparkly.